the back-end capabilities for the module builder. Let's come back now that we created the contacts module and take a look what are the things that I can do after the fact, now that the contacts module has been activated. Notice I can click back on contacts and I can add more fields. It is not the end of the world if I forgot some fields and I'd like to add it, you can still do that. And you can also change your mind and choose a different identifier. You can delete one of the fields as well. You can change the fact that you'd like to allow permissions right now. So you can do all that stuff after the fact and add or take out some of the information in the database as well. I can add a content type. Automatically I can come in here and I can add a brand new content type if I want to make it a child of that specific module as well. Also for the contact settings, notice here the name and description. This is a great feature for the module builder, which I can actually change the name or change the description. Be careful coming back and changing the name, because remember there is a lot of things that had to take place as far as the code reference, which I'm going to explain in a second, and also the database information. Finally, the backend screen tweaks. If I open this up, the backend screen tweaks will allow you to add or remove columns in the table grid. This is the same grid that you see when you go after blog posts or news like press releases or events. Same thing with contacts. If I end up creating a contact, the grid that will show up in front of us, I can change the columns and the rows. So if you take a look in here, for instance, there is the title, there is action, author, and publication date. These are all my new fields that I created in a database. Maybe I don't want to see it this way. I can drag the first name, put it right there. I can drag the last name, for instance, in here, and I can put it right next to first name. I can also even put the picture. If the picture is important for me, I can actually maybe drag the picture and put it in there as well. So I can automatically see all these things. And I can bring jobs and emails, all that stuff would be possible. Maybe author is not interesting for me, I can delete it from here, and I can bring in the job and put it right before actions in there, and so on and so forth. Now when I save the changes, the grid will always be shown in that way. Also, during the creation of the contacts or the editing a specific contact, I can reorder the fields. Right now it's going to show the title, first name, last name, job, and so on and so forth. I can move things around. I can maybe put the picture all the way after the last name. I can put the email address all the way at the bottom if I want to. I can definitely do all that kind of reorganization of the user interface right away. When I save the changes, this is the way it's going to look from now on. Great, now let's go back and start creating a couple of records into that database for the module called contacts. I'm going to say content, contacts, and here is the grid that I mentioned before, but because we don't have any contacts yet, the grid of course is not showing anything. So I'm going to create my first contact in the contact modules. We'll click on that. And immediately you will be able to see that all the fields, like the title, first name, last name, all the stuff got created for us automatically based on our previous work that we did with the module builder. So in here for title, for instance, again, we'll take this as an ID, for instance. We'll say 1. First name will say, for instance, Aaron, and last name will say Sconard, the CEO of Pluralsight. Job is CEO, and we'll upload an image, for instance, for Aaron from my machine. I don't have any images right now, so we select one from my machine. We'll go to pictures, and there is Aaron Sconard, that an image we uploaded for him a while back when the company got its funding. All right, we'll go to the default library, we'll say done, and we'll upload that. Automatically that image will end up in a database, automatically in one of the records, and it will be available right here. I can also select more options because I inherited all this functionality directly from the module builder inside of Sitefinity itself that knows how to do all that. And there is my email address, for instance. We'll say aaron@pluralsight.com, and we'll say go ahead and say publish right away. So now that record will be entered into the contacts tables in the database to persist. And here is the grid. The grid has the title, 1, first name, last name, and the picture, and exactly how I ordered everything before to be able to see exactly my record. Let's go ahead and create one more so we can get a list of those. We'll say number 2, and we'll say Lino, and I'll add my last name, Tadros, and we'll say the job, we'll say janitor, and we'll go ahead and select an image. We'll select an image in here. There you go. There's my 49ers shirt. and we'll go ahead and put it in a specific library. Again, you can create your own library as well called the pictures or modules for contact libraries. For instance, you can create whatever library you want. I'm going to put them right now in a default library anyway, and we'll go ahead and upload it. There is the image. And finally, for the more options in the email, I'll say lino@falafel.com. All right, great. We're ready. We'll go ahead and publish the second record. And now I have both records inside of the database ready to go. The question now is that how can I actually view all that on a page on the website? So far, everything I've done, and Sitefinity helped me greatly because I didn't write any lines of code at all. All the stuff will get created in the database for me, but it's all back-end information. None of the stuff shows up as a widget, for instance, or as information available on a page. So if I go to pages, let's go ahead and create, for instance, a new page. We'll call this page contacts. And I'm going to leave it all the defaults. We'll go ahead and create this page. All right, great. And notice here on the side where it says content, all of a sudden there will be a brand new widget called contacts. Where is that contacts widget came from? Where the important part to say in here, when I created the module in the module builder, it did not only create all the necessary code and database for the back end, it also created a contacts widget automatically for me that I can drag and put anywhere in one of the content placeholder, and it will immediately start displaying data from the database. So that is my first record, and that is my second record, and I can publish and run this, and it will automatically show us all this information right away. Let's go ahead and run the page called contacts as a front-end user. And there it is in here. I can even comment on every one of the contacts. I can see very few information. Notice first name and last name is not showing. But again, this is out of the box what will show right away based on the contacts widget.